This is Meep, a visitor to Earth from the outer reaches of the universe. She has come to study human culture at Texas Tech. Meep will soon learn that all individuals have and experience culture, but successful communication and mutual understanding between different cultures are imperative for cultural sensitivity and empathy. In human society, interlocking axes of culture, identity, privilege, and oppression are significant aspects of our daily lives. Humans must learn to navigate various aspects of culture if they are to be successful and conscientious members of society. But what is culture? Is it shared language, beliefs, and values? Is it learned patterns of behaviors and attitudes shared by a group of... The cultural self can include many different aspects, like race and ethnicity, religion, age, gender, nationality, socioeconomic status, etc. We can avow or portray ourselves as any of these attributes, or someone might ascribe an identity to us. In this way, our identities are co-created, challenged, and negotiated. Culture and an individual's identity are inextricably linked. We use culture to understand who we are and to show others who we are. Because identity is formed in relation to the self and in relation to memberships within a group, we can have multiple identities, all of which relate to the cultures we are a part of. In some cases, one group's culture is dominant over another group. Sometimes this has been the status quo for so long that the dominant group doesn't even realize they have privileges that other groups don't share. For example, many whites in the U.S. do not perceive the dominance of white culture, unlike their non-white counterparts, who are more likely to be conscious of white privilege. White privilege extends from mundane details of everyday life, like easily finding band-aids in a fair skin tone, to important rights like criticizing the government without being viewed as an outsider. Even sources judged to be objective, like the news media, may assume its readers are white, or worse, preserve and promote stereotypical beliefs, notions of racial differences, and idealized whiteness.
Language is another salient aspect of cultural identity, but not all languages, or speakers of a language, are regarded equally. Almost 1/3 of teaching assistants at major U.S. universities are non-native English speakers, and the number of international instructors is rising. Most students have encountered at least one international instructor. Often the intolerance shown by just one student sets off a chain reaction from other students. Some of these instructors are in fact native speakers of English, just not North American English. This brings up issues of value judgments, where one variety of a language is deemed to be better than another. In the case of instructors who are not native speakers of English, stereotypes determine a great deal about which teachers are not well understood. In addition, the perception of a strong accent and factors like physical attractiveness or the otherness of the teacher will influence what the student hears. Empathy, active listening, and clarifying are 3 possible solutions that could have eased the frustrations of the students and the professor in this class. Nonverbal codes are important for communication, but unlike verbal codes, they aren't formally learned. Instead, they are learned through socialization.
Hey, how are you? I'm President Nellis.
Meep failed to understand President Nellis's nonverbal communication because she was not socialized in the United States. Misunderstanding nonverbal codes can cause confusion and embarrassment for multiple parties. So it is important to understand other cultures' norms for eye contact, personal space, touch, and gestures. Without competence in these areas, true communication is unachievable.
All right, well, yeah, very timely. Let's go.
Meep has stumbled across 2 students from different countries getting to know each other. They may also face the challenge of explaining or even justifying their relationship to each other, their families, and their extended communities. If the couple has a large supportive social network, they will have more resources to navigate their cultural differences. Meep, our otherworldly visitor, has learned a lot by observing and interacting with the students at Texas Tech.